Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Now, Tom Fitton unleashes on Schiff, Mueller, and FBI corruption after Dem spin memo is released. President of Judicial Watch Tom Fitton unleashed on Adam Schiff, Mueller, and the deep state corruption after the Dem junk memo was released on Saturday. Now, on Saturday, Democratic members of the House Intelligence Committee released a rebuttal to the Nunes memo. Now, the Counter-Memo claims FBI and DOJ officials did not abuse the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act or the FISA process, admit material information, or subvert this vital tool to spy on the Trump campaign. Chairman Nunes immediately released a point-by-point response, absolutely crushing Adam Schiff's Counter-Memo. Now, among some of the points made in Schiff's memo is Hillary's dossier was not the catalyst for launching the Trump-Russia witch hunt. Rather, it was Papadopoulos' drunk banter in a London pub. Of course, we know this is complete rubbish. Now, Tom Fitton was furious on Saturday and unleashed on Schiff and the corrupt FBI, DOJ officials.
Look, the Nunes memo documents corruption targeting Donald Trump by the FBI, the Justice Department, and frankly continuing into part of the Trump administration within his own Department of Justice. And the Schiff memo doesn't address that corruption. In fact, it can't address that corruption. You have this Democratic memo come out talking about the use of a Democratic dossier paid for with Democratic Party money to spy on the Democratic opponent by a Democratic administration. Look, there's no way Schiff can answer these charges. He's compromised, as far as I'm concerned, when he continues to issue misleading reports about what went on. And to suggest that the court was fully apprised that the Clinton campaign was behind an application to spy on a Trump advisor, you know, and they say, well, it was after he left the campaign, so it really wasn't spying on the Trump campaign. No, once you're in, you're in. You can go back and get other documents and go forward and talk to and listen in if he's talking to the Trump advisors in the future. And we know the dossier was being used as early as July of 2016 to target Team Trump. The corruption here is really something that hasn't been seen in recent American history in terms of abuse of power.
Those are the allegations from Republicans. But look, in this dossier, it says right here on page 1 that the FBI assessed Carter Page to be a, quote, agent of the Russian government. And they had a lot of surveillance far beyond the Steele dossier to try and target him.
But they had that surveillance before the dossier. Why didn't they go to the court then? Look, the cornerstone of the Nunes document is that without the dossier, there'd be no surveillance warrant of the Trump team. The Democrats don't answer that. In fact, Andrew McCabe testified, according to the Nunes memo, with no dossier, no FISA warrant. This memo doesn't answer that.
Well, they say it was narrowly used.
In the memo.
Sorry to interrupt, but they say it was narrowly used. Do you buy that?
No, I don't buy it, because there wouldn't have been an application without the dossier. You know, pointing out that Carter Page, who was a known quantity to the FBI, a cooperator with the FBI, all of a sudden needed to be targeted after years of being on the FBI's radar screen. The only coincidence there that led to his targeting was the emergence of this dossier, paid for with Democratic Party money, and the Clinton campaign.
You know, you just pointed Carter Page, and that's a really incredibly important point, because there are allegations that the Obama administration really pulled the wool over the eyes of the FISA court when it dealt with Carter Page. Let me show you what the Wall Street Journal wrote about Mr. Page. You know, he helped allegedly bust up that Russian spy ring here in the U.S. Mr. Page said he helped the U.S. federal investigators during the case at his June 2013 meeting with U.S. counterintelligence agents. He discussed at length his research on the international political economy, because it seemed to me, he said, that the resources of the U.S. government might be better allocated towards addressing real national security threats. So, Tom, in 2013, two Russian officials, one at the UN and one undercover of the Trade Association, are busted. Page apparently is cooperating as a cooperating witness, helps the U.S. government, but none of that, you know, is in here. It paints him as a spy. Let me read you a line from this Democratic memo. It says, quote, Carter Page, someone the FBI assessed to be an agent of the Russian government. DOJ detailed Page's past relationships with Russian spies and interactions with Russian officials during the 2016 campaign. The FISA applications also detail Page's suspicious activity after joining the Trump campaign. It apparently doesn't say anything that he helped the U.S. government at one point.
He was a cooperator with the FBI. He was an open book in terms of his communications with the Russians. And, of course, the FBI knew that.
And is it fair to paint him as a spy in the Democratic memo?
Well, there's this nasty habit of the Obama administration to paint its opponents, when convenient, as spies, as they did with Fox News' James Rosen, as they as they did with the Associated Press in their subpoena efforts against those two entities, and James Rosen and the Associated Press. And now we've got Carter Page being used as an excuse rather than a reason to target the Trump team. We got to take a step back. In the dossier was salacious, unverified, according to the Nunes memo, and this is not addressed in the Schiff memo, minimally corroborated material. And it showed that the Russian intelligence was going through the Clinton campaign to try to spread dirt about President Trump, or then candidate Trump. And rather than protect him, they used it as a pretext to go to the FISA court. This material never should have been before the FISA court. And I tell you what, if we had known about the origins of this dossier a year or so ago, there'd be no special counsel. And there might be a special counsel targeting the Obama administration. This special counsel investigation, this is why the pushback is so strong, because it goes to the heart of the special counsel investigation. No dossier, no special counsel. And Mr. Mueller needs to explain why it is, because reports are he's still using this dossier to target Trump.
And finally, we're out of time, but Senator Bernie Sanders, he says that his campaign went to the Clinton folks to warn them about possible Russian interference at the same time. Tom Fitton.
They were working with the Russians, and Hillary herself had gotten Russia cash when she was Secretary of State through her husband. That wasn't investigated by the FBI either. Interesting.
Those are the allegations of some critics, and many are calling for an investigation of that, too. Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, as always, thank you. Arthel?
Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me how you feel about this report. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Let's make America great again. Peace.